grassroots. I think the first thing we got to do is get government out of private business. The two just don't mix. That is where I would start. You look at the current problems nationally, it all goes back to housing. The government got involved with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and forcing these, not forcing, but pushing loans, pushing people into housing they couldn't afford. And that's exactly why this country is in the financial mess it's in today. So I think you have to start right at the grassroots, and that's get the government and the private business separate. Be there to support them, but I can't see being involved with private business.
One thing that we have noticed in our national government is that we have laden ourselves with the idea that we're entitled to a lot of things. And as far as I know, we're not entitled to a lot of much of anything. But we are blessed in this country with the backbone and the situation that we're in to be able to have public education, to be able to have public services. But at the local level, we are facing challenges that we probably haven't seen in 10 or 15 years. And that is that federal government is going to be more restrictive on allowing the money to come back to us that we've paid in. That is the same thing that's already been promised from the state of Kansas. And so the best thing that we can do is to not batten down the hatches, but to look for more private opportunity for creative financing, for creative incentive for business to continue to grow. We have our local government will thrive if we continue to encourage industry to stay and to come to Park City, a prime location. And so the more we are able to create new revenue from manufacturing and are able to maintain the infrastructure, as we've said before, we will have success in Park City that's not measured close by communities around us. Thank you.
I believe in government. I believe in good government, and I don't believe that less government makes a better life. I believe that better government makes a better life. And I think that what has caused the national crisis is lack of government and lack of regulation. No one forced people into taking those mortgages. They were talked into it by unscrupulous lenders. I think that the crash of the stock market had as much to do with deregulation as it had to do with anything. And in this country, we've seen this over and over and over again, and we just keep doing the same silly things. It happened in 07, it happened in 29, and it's exactly the same. You allow too many big companies to merge, and you have only one company in the United States that's big enough to build a tanker. Only one company. That's why we're having trouble, getting that Boeing contract, is they're the only ones here. So on a local level, I don't think that you just batten down the hatches and don't move. I think if you're moving, you keep moving. I think you watch everything that's going on. You watch your revenues, you watch your expenses. You're very, very careful. But you also have to keep moving, because if you stop when everybody else starts moving, you're going to be behind where you could have been. And I saw this coming a long time ago. Planted a vegetable garden last year because I was scared, because I saw the same conditions that have led to problems in this country before. In December, I called all the builders together. You've heard me say this or read about it. We set up an incentive program. I'm working with the builders, all the builders that currently are making houses in Park City, to try and reduce the risk that you'll have to pay the special assessments on the empty lots and the unsold houses. We're working really hard. We've focused on industrial, we've focused on commercial. We've done a great job with that over the last 10 or 15 years. Right now we're focusing on residential, not neglecting the other, but we need to sell houses and we need to sell lots, or you and I are going to pay the special assessments.
Next question how did you vote on the 61st Street project and why?
The question would be, which 61st Street project? I will not presume to find out what that is. In 1995, I voted as a council member a number of times to work towards getting a grant from the state, an 80-20 grant for the expansion and the removal of bar ditches and the curb and gutter and the sidewalk look with 4 lanes of 61st Street. That 61st Street project has resulted in a streamlined and a very attractive means for people to come to Park City and see what Park City really could be. Since that time, since the year 2000, about 600 or 700 homes have been built, and the attractive means of people getting to those places has been because of that. Thank you.
I should never have to vote. You know, the mayor only votes to break a tie. And I'm pretty sure what 61st Street project this question was concerning, and I voted aye. I voted in favor of it. For years, we've tried to clean up Park City, and we had a ways to go. Not just in our thoroughfares, but in our own homes, in our yards. When you have a neighbor whose house looks decrepit, whose yard is full of trash, your property values go down. It's not fair to you to have a neighbor like that. We've worked really hard with code enforcement to try and clean up Park City. I was so proud of what we've done. You know, our code enforcement people are working on Broadway. We've had, I think, up for 7 or 10, a whole number of buildings torn down that were falling down. And I was in total shock when at about the second builders meeting, I said to the builders, okay, what else can we do to attract people to Park City? And they said, clean it up, and I nearly cried because I thought we have worked so hard. And that's what I told them. And I think it was Jay Russell that said that too. They said, you know, you get off on 61st Street and what do you see? Key chive. You know, you don't see anything that says welcome to Park City. It's not welcoming. And so I think it's long past time. We always say on these projects, we don't have the money, we don't have the money, we don't have the money. Well, we did have the money, and I voted for it, and would again.
Well, and there again, I'm not sure just what we're talking about here. The only 61st Street project that I'm aware of is a beautification deal for 61st and 53rd, something I'm aware of. But the reason I voted against that, and I'll tell you why, because it was lumped together with a bunch of other stuff with about approximately 30 minutes of debate. We spent over $3 million. And I voted against the whole thing, not necessarily the 61st Street project, but I felt that if we're going to spend over $3 million of your money, that we ought to take a little longer than 30 minutes to debate it, and we ought to look at the issue and take the time. What's the hurry? We still haven't spent no money, so what was the hurry to spend that money after 30 minutes debate, if that's the issue that the question's directed at?